right, welcome back to Case Studies with Caleb. We are on number 3 of our first case study, JCB. Just to recap real quick, we have our 67-year-old postmenopausal female. These were her complaints and what she came on originally. We've already gone over her Dutch urinary hormone metabolite test, as well as one of her conventional, I guess more conventional, blood work tests. And we are on our first follow-up laboratory following our interventions up here. So of note, she was not able to start the PCSK9 inhibitor until the day before we got these labs. So these labs were from 8:30, I believe, that we're going to be going over today. And she did not start the PCSK9 until 9:01. So when we look at her lipids, we'll know that we didn't actually do anything except for these two things, of which she actually only started fish oil. There's compliance for you. Now, from the hormone perspective, we started 4 things. We started HRT with DHEA, testosterone, estradiol, and progesterone, as well as liposomal glutathione and diindolylmethane. Okay, so with that in mind, let's dive in to see what we got. Now, we're going to be going over 2 different lab results, just because the second one was more of a cardiovascular checkup to follow up on the PCSK9 inhibitor. So the first lab result that we go through will be more in regard to the HRT, although there are some pretty interesting things to look at that responded to the fish oil. And then 10.8 will be more of the cardiovascular disease checkup. So let's dive in. All right. So as we move down this CBC, we'll see that RBCs are still lower than I'd like. The RDW actually increased since last time, but the MCV improved. Let's go check our other one. All right, so I take that back. There actually wasn't an issue with the MCV. But the RDW did increase, which is indicating that there's, again, more of that spread between the smallest and largest red blood cells, which is a maturation issue somewhere along the line, either with B12 and folate or iron, most likely iron, as she was pretty close to depletion. All right. Now we'll also notice here that her total eosinophils decreased quite substantially, from 10.2% to 5.9%. Now I'm mostly going to attribute that to the omega-3 fatty acids, but I don't know exactly what did that. We didn't do anything in particular to lower the eosinophil count or to modulate immune expression in that fashion, but it seems that lowering inflammation overall from the omega-3 fatty acids maybe reduce the amount of pro-inflammatory fatty acids that would then turn into the prostaglandins and leukotrienes and such. CMP, we can appreciate that her fasting glucose is a little bit better this time. Whether or not she adhered to the dietary changes that we recommended, that can be kind of seen here. So it seems like she did do a little bit better job reducing her carbohydrates. So, if we look at her lipids, nothing improved from last time. So despite adding the fish oil, triglycerides didn't improve. cholesterol didn't improve, HDL didn't improve, everything kind of actually got worse. So, this is, again, supporting that something else besides diet and I don't know what I'm thinking. Diet and supplementation was not going to impact, even from adding the omega-3s. Even down here in the inflammatory markers, CRP went down by 0.1, which is not substantial. I mean, it's not significant. Homocysteine stayed about the same. Lp(a) is about the same. Lp(PLA2), I believe that increased. Yeah, it increased. So the wrong direction as far as cardiovascular inflammation goes, as well as lipoproteins go. So no improvement there. Now, like I said, she had not yet started the PCSK9, so I wasn't really expecting a whole lot to change. Now, given it can change when you add in hormones and you use omega-3 fatty acids, but her profile, again, was more supportive of the familial hypercholesterolemia, ApoB or PCSK9 variants. So, again, it was really important for her to get started on that. Okay, hormones. So let's peek back at what we were at. So DHEA was at 26. That doubled. So happy with that. The sex hormone binding globulin, let's go see. 200.6, that came down a little bit, which is fine. Testosterone went from 0 to 128 with a 0.6 of free. Now, generally speaking, we want about 1 to 2% of a woman's testosterone to be free, which would be, 0.12. So we're well above the 1% free there. So that's a nice change. Her testosterone was good. She did report better libido, better lubrication in her genital area, as well as easier climax. So all good things from that perspective. And that lubrication is really going to be secondary to this guy right here. This is obviously a bigger jump than I expected from the small dose that I gave. So, she responded very well. She had really good uptake. We are going to decrease the dose in response because really the goal is about half of that. Her progesterone level was perfect, at least for my purposes. Again, we can see here that her thyroid leveled out. Again, the ultrasound was negative, and that was a lab error, so no surprises there. Going down, the lab actually goofed and didn't run the NMR lipoprofile, but that was okay because she didn't actually change anything, so I don't expect anything would have changed. Her omega-3s went from 4.4 to 6.2, so this is kind of indicative of the fact that she did take it and that she actually has the stomach pH and pancreatic sufficiency to break down and absorb those fatty acids. So that's good. ADMA, SDMA didn't change to an appreciable degree. Ox-LDL, though, this was surprising. She went from 84, I believe, to that 41. Yeah, so just adding those fish oils did seem to have, either that or in conjunction with the sex hormones, and a big effect on those oxidized LDLs, which is pretty significant, even though nothing from the lipoprotein analysis changed. You'll see that her estrogen also dropped quite significantly, which is a product of taking her off of the Premarin, adding in the DIM and glutathione, and then also throwing in the other hormones. So all good things from a hormone perspective, even a little bit of overshoot, but not a bad deal. Now, something that's important that's not on these labs is that she did end up having an increase in migraines, but that was due to the dosing schedule. So we started her out on every other day insertion of these hormones vaginally, and she would report that on the first day that she did them, no migraines. The first day off, she would have a migraine. So then we just changed them to everyday dosing. Migraines went away, no problems. Okay, so now we're going to jump to the next one, which is fast forward another month. Yeah, 10/8. So now we're going to 10/8. So in between, 8:30 and 10/8, the interventions that changed were taking the garlic and taking the PCSK9. We reduced the estradiol and increased the testosterone. Again, we were also supportive of an anti-inflammatory diet that was heavily based in plants with appropriately sourced meats. So pretty much a paleo diet with emphasis on monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fats, and green leafy vegetables. So here we'll finally see that we got some changes in the inflammatory markers. The HSCRP, it's still high now, but given it's not what it was. I mean, it's down, I think, a quarter from 4.8. Yeah, from 4.8 down, which is improvement. We're going in the right direction. It's only been a month. LPPLA2 activity improved also quite substantially. We're in the 150s and now we're at 107. Cholesterol, down from 300, down from 308 to 228. HDL came up. Triglycerides, what were triglycerides? Those didn't change much. So at this point, we're kind of thinking of adding fenofibrate, which is a PPAR agonist, to increase oxidation of those fatty acids, because for some reason those are still elevated despite changing diet and adding fish oil even to 4 grams a day. So definitely something that we wanted to address, at least from an energy storage perspective. Now LDL also dropped from 231 to 139, which is awesome. Now the biggest change here from my perspective is this LDL particle number. From 2516 to 1284, half, 50% decrease. And her LDL pattern actually switched from pattern B to pattern A, which is the least of the atherogenic profiles. So very happy with how the PCSK9 inhibitor turned out. Now we'll also see here that the ox-LDL, while not being at the 84 that we started with, is not at the 41 that we were at last month. So we're in between, which could be reflective of some transient process. It could be reflective of whenever you have a massive reduction in quantity of the LDL particles, there could be a transient rise of the oxidized LDLs just from a distribution perspective. But we're going to watch and see. SDMA is up a little bit, but ADMA is within normal range, so we're looking good as far as nitric oxide and endothelial function go. And then even this LP little a that we measured before, which was in milligrams per deciliter, I believe. Is that what it was? Yeah, milligrams per deciliter, which you can't really convert, but a rough conversion estimate would be 2.5 times. So 40 times 2.5 is about 100 nanomole per liter, and we're at 57. So there was a decent decrease in that LP little a. And that was it. So from these labs, what we're thinking and what we were going to implement next was fenofibrate to improve the oxidation of those fatty acids, especially the triglycerides, and see if we didn't get a better presentation. Symptomatically, she is free of migraines. Her libido is on fire. She's not fatigued. She doesn't have to take the afternoon nap anymore, and she is steadily losing some of that stubborn belly fat. So she's on the up and up. We're in the right trajectory, and we'll see how it goes from here. Thank you guys for tuning in for our first case series with JCB. More to come.